Hi. It is March 30th, 2014. It hasn't been too long since I recorded last. I think last week I was doing the whole wedding thing with my sister. So, what's happened in a week? On Monday, I had these cysts on my head that you may or may not have noticed. I had one here, and then I have two on the back of my head, like here and here. Yeah. So, on Monday, my doctor cut those open and removed the thing inside. It looks like a little pillow, only it's got nasty stuff inside. He had to cut them open to make sure they weren't cancerous, so that was fun. Not too bad. The concern is that I'm on warfarin or Coumadin, which is a anticoagulant, also known as a blood thinner. Even though it doesn't really thin the blood, it just makes it so the blood doesn't coagulate, which keeps me from having blood clots. So, yeah, there was the concern that I'm going to bleed to death while he's cutting my head open. So he was really careful. He started up on the top, up here, and did that one first. It was pretty big on the outside. It was big enough he had to cut it up to remove it. And some of it was painful. It was okay. It wasn't too bad. I bled a little bit, but really not much. And then I showered and I bled more. So it took a while of me just kind of laying around with my hand holding pressure, because this little one was apparently deep, and there was a blood vessel and a nerve right there, and so that was kind of painful and it bled more. But not too bad. So I'll be getting stitches out tomorrow. You can see this one, since that one doesn't hurt, so it's nice. On Wednesday, I went and saw a gynecologist, a surgeon, down in Ogden, and so that was interesting. Mostly because I went to McAD Hospital, which is Intermountain Healthcare Hospital down in Ogden, and he's located at the Women's Center of the McAD Hospital, and so I was quite literally the only man there going to see a doctor, and that was very confusing. So, they're like, well, what's the patient? They're like, what's the patient's birthday? And I'm like, my birthday is this. And it's like, okay, but the patient. And I'm like, I'm the patient. Don't ask. It's complicated. So that made me uncomfortable a little bit. I mean, it's not their fault. They're not accustomed to dealing with trans people. So, what you gonna do? But then I went in, I saw the nurse, and she talked to me and got my history and all that. That was okay. I think that they'd already kind of got a heads up from my doctor. My doctor's been really good. I think that's useful to have a doctor that will kind of clear the path for you. Dr. Davis at the Student Health Center at USU, he's my primary care physician right now. And he's really been careful to make sure that the doctors are aware of me and my needs before I get there. So when I went into the hospital in January, the ER doctor already knew that I was trans and that I needed to be treated in a certain way. Just like, the surgeons knew, the nurses knew that this was a sensitive thing that they needed to be careful with. Shh. And, so when I went, in, this is Kun, and saw the nurse, then she was already aware, and the doctor was already aware, and so that was nice. They were very considerate of that. The doctor had to do a pap smear thing, but he was like, use my smallest thing and I'll be really fast and gentle, if that's okay. And so I agreed to it, and he was extremely considerate of how difficult and how uncomfortable this was for me. It was really, really fast, it just in and out really quick, but in a gentle way. So that was good, and that made it a lot easier. It's like he made that part of the exam ridiculously short. It was basically to see where the fibroids are and shh, Tubby, now, dogs, and where the pain is and stuff like that. So it was really fast. And then, he talked about my options, and basically, in my case, it is best to get everything removed. I found out that I kind of have a cancer gene. It's basically a gene that makes my family very high risk for cancer. And so you couple that with the fact that I have testosterone, which also makes me high risk. And yeah. Then, it's best to get everything that could be cancerous out there. Now, then there's the whole matter of scheduling. He usually schedules out quite a bit, so that was hard. So I'm like, I'd like to get it done tomorrow. But, so when the doctor was talking to me later, he's like, do you want your appendix out as well? Because I'm in there, so I can just... And normally, I've been raised a really specific way to basically be like, no, leave my organs alone. And then the last couple of months have kind of changed that a bit. Not to mention my continued education. The more I understand evolution and the way that we have become, the less a lot of the things that I was raised with make sense. It's like I was always told, well, all of the organs in our body are there for a reason. God put them there for a reason. And now, I'm like, they might have had a reason at some point, but that could have been, a million years ago. And obviously, we don't use them much now. People live fine without them. I mean, I don't have a gallbladder now because it tried to kill me. And the appendix can be really dangerous because... when it gets infected, it just tries to kill you quickly. And in my case, where I've had a lot of high infection, I'm less trusting of my body. So, when he offered to just cut that out at the same time and get that taken care of, part of me was like, well, no, that's my appendix, and why would I want to get rid of that? And then at the same time, I was kind of like, yeah, just cut it out. I'd rather be safe than have to have yet another surgery. So he'll be doing that as well. He'll just cut out everything, and he'll mostly be doing it laparoscopically. So he'll cut another hole into my belly button area. I've already had the same cut there twice now. So, yeah, I'm going to have quite the scar on my belly button. And then he'll do 2 to 3 other incisions in different places. And then he may have to go transvaginally using the robot to pull chunks out, stuff like that. He said that he's going to cut the cervix out, and then sew it up. And so that will increase my time that I'll not be able to move around as much, but it's not really... I don't know, I just figured why not, because eventually I'm going to get all of that removed anyway. So yeah, my surgery date is May 27th. I may have to change it. I'm trying to look at my, I'm wanting to go to summer school, and in my case I really don't have a choice, and it's hard to think about. Financially I'm just so beyond fucked right now. It's not even funny. I mean, I try to deal as best as I can, but I'm just... I mean, I was out of work for 2 months, basically, and so there's a huge chunk of money that I didn't see. Like, you're talking over $1,500 gone. I have a lot of medical bills that I don't even know how to deal with. I don't know how much of it can get written off. I don't know much of anything right now. And I don't sleep a lot because I'm constantly stressing about money. You know, I have a couple more bills to input that I found upstairs, so that's 6 that I have to look over and deal with. And then it's just life. I mean, because I used the money that I had been given to live off of while I was going to spring semester, and then I didn't, then they want that money back, and I don't have it. And they're saying I can't register for classes until I pay it off. But I can't afford not to go to school. I need that extra money for living, and I need to be able to keep going to my job. And what makes this whole situation worse is because I'm now deeply in debt to medical stuff. I have no idea when I'll be able to get my top surgery. And that's really, really frustrating. I don't know. It's just frustrating. I mean, top surgery is ridiculously important to me. I'm so tired of having to wear compression shirts to go out and never being able to not be subconscious about it. Subconscious? I think that's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. I can't think of the right word right now. Great. But, I'm tired of not being able to take my shirt off ever. That anything that I do is like somebody says, let's go swimming, and I have to think about that. It's like, can I go swimming? What will I wear when I go swimming? And I have swimming trunks, but I have to think about my upper body. I can't just think about my lower body. And that's really, really frustrating. And I was really looking forward to getting top surgery, and now I don't know when that will happen. I'm going to have that GoFundMe account, and I should really add the links. But, it hasn't made a lot of money, and I need a lot of money. Like $10,000 to be able to go to Florida and get this done. For the plane ticket and the stay there and eating and then the surgery itself. And it's like, that was my next step, and that's what I wanted to be my next step, is going to Florida. And I mean, now at least I'm taking a step, and I'll be able to, use less testosterone, so my cancer risk will be less, and I won't have to worry about combating hormones anymore, which is nice. It'll be nice to know that if I'm ever in a situation to be in the hospital for a month again, I don't have to be as paranoid and freak out like, oh my god, I need to get my testosterone or the estrogen's gonna try to take over and fuck me up. But at the same time, it's an internal thing, and it's good because it's supposed to impact me and how I feel, but it doesn't impact the external, which is usually more frustrating. I mean, within reason, I can handle the emotional roller coasters and the hormone stuff. I mean, it's not fun and it fucks with me, but I can handle it. But not being able to take my shirt off, not being able to just get up in the morning and pull a shirt on and go. I can't do that. I have to choose a compression shirt and put that on and make sure that it's the right kind, because if I have a lower neckline, then I have to use a tank top. If I You know, if I have a t-shirt or something else, then it's not a big deal. But there's always those things to consider. You know, I have a v-neck sweater. Well, if I wear that, I have to wear a tank top underneath or it'll show. And it's exhausting. It's annoying. So, yeah. I don't know. It's frustrating. And all of this money stuff has just got me beyond stressed out. Like, my anxiety, my stress levels are so high all the time. I go to bed at night and I'm just thinking about how am I supposed to get this money and how am I supposed to do this and how am I supposed to do that, and I don't know what to do. So I don't know. I guess I'm gonna try to contact somebody, a contact at the not the university, at the hospital, to see what I can do about my medical stuff. And beyond that, I don't know, I need to write an essay for a scholarship through my department, and I should really be looking up other scholarships. It's just frustrating. You know, I mean, normal people would be going to school and dealing with trying to live with that. And I get to do that while dealing with all my medical stuff, while dealing with this financial crap and the whole transitioning thing. And it gets exhausting. You know, I can't seem to get ahead. It's like I'm working more than normal, but I can't seem to get ahead financially. And I hate that. I hate that I don't have the money and I don't know how to deal with it. It's just frustrating. And on top of that, my dad is probably losing his job in a couple months. So he's been looking for new jobs, and it's like, my mom's like, oh yeah, he got an offer from a place in San Diego and San Jose. And I'm like, that's great, you know, at least he's getting offers. At least there's a possibility of work in his future. But then at the same time, I'm thinking, if you guys go to San Diego, what happens here? Because I'll have literally no place to go. So that's a new stressor. I mean, I have 4 dogs and technically 5 cats. I can't just rent your average apartment. And even then, I don't have the money to rent your average apartment. I cannot go to school and survive on my own. I have nowhere to go. I mean, I guess I could move in with my brother in Clarkston, but it's in Clarkston, and it's far away. And it's a small house, and it's, you know, I don't really want to do that. I mean, I love my brother, but I don't want to live with him because I feel like that would be bad. And all of the good in our relationship right now would probably go away, and I don't want that. But I literally will have no place to go if they move. You know, I can't afford a house. I can't afford a house payment. I can't afford rent. And I just don't know how to deal with that. So I try not to think about it. And, you know, I have so much to get done. And I don't even have, I don't know. I don't have the energy to get anything done because I'm so emotionally drained. I don't want to think about how much money I owe medical stuff. I don't want to think about how I'm going to go to school and get a hysterectomy and get good grades and have enough money to survive the rest of this year. I mean, it's March 30th and I'm already just bogged down and I don't know what to do. So yeah, sorry to end on the weird low note. Now I just get tired of not talking about it.